All right, today we are diving into one of the wildest, most clever stories of survival and justice you'll find anywhere in the book of Genesis. It's all about a woman who, when the entire system failed her, decided to take matters into her own hands in, well, the most audacious way you can possibly imagine.
So, let's just kick things off with a question for you. How far would you really go for justice? I mean, when the rules are rigged against you, what lines are you willing to cross to claim what's rightfully yours? That is the exact high-stakes dilemma at the very heart of the story we're getting into.
Okay, so before we jump into all the drama, and trust me, there's a lot of it, there's one crucial ancient law you've got to get your head around. It's called levirate marriage. Now, this wasn't just some old-fashioned suggestion. It was basically a societal safety net. It was there to protect a widow and, super importantly, to continue her dead husband's family line. Keep this law in the front of your mind because literally every single thing that happens next hinges on it.
All right, so our story begins with a man named Judah and his family, and unfortunately it kicks off with a series of absolute tragedies that really set the stage for the whole conflict.
So here's how it all goes down, and it happens fast. First up, Judah's oldest son, a guy named marries our main character Tamar. But then, bam, dies, leaving Tamar a widow with no children. So according to that law we just talked about, the duty now falls to the next brother, Onan. Judah tells him, hey, you're up. But Onan? He refuses. He doesn't want to father a child that won't carry his own name. And then he dies too. Just like that, Tamar is left widowed for a second time.
I mean, just try to put yourself in Tamar's shoes for a second. In her world, a woman's entire security, her whole future, was tied to her husband and her children. And now she has neither, twice over. Her future isn't just uncertain, it's looking completely non-existent. She is in a terrifyingly vulnerable spot.
And this, right here, is where the story shifts from just being tragic to being deeply unjust. See, Tamar had a right to a future, a right that was actually promised to her. But that promise is about to be broken, and it's going to push her into a desperate corner.
So Judah makes what sounds like a pretty reasonable promise. He tells Tamar, look, go back to your father's house, hang tight, and wait for my last son, Shelah, to grow up. On the surface, it seems like he's going to do the right thing, but you got to read between the lines here. He was secretly terrified that if Shelah married Tamar, he'd die too.
And here is the gut punch. Years go by, Shelah is now a grown man, and Judah, he never sends for Tamar. He just quietly backs out of the deal, hoping she'll just forget about it. He effectively abandons her, leaving her stuck in limbo forever.
So let's be really clear about what's happening. Tamar has been seriously wronged. The law that was supposed to protect her has been totally ignored by the one man with the power to enforce it. She can't appeal to anyone. She has no power, no legal recourse. So what do you do when you are completely out of options? Well, Tamar, she decides to create an option of her own.
Okay, so this is where the story takes a massive turn. Realizing that she is never, ever going to get justice the normal way, Tamar comes up with a plan. And it is so risky, so shocking, it literally puts her life on the line. You can just see the wheels turning in her head here. It's a calculated move. She hears her father-in-law Judah is going to be traveling. So, first, she takes off her widow's clothes, shedding that symbol of her dead-end life. Next, she covers her face with a veil, making herself a total mystery. And finally, the most important part, she goes and sits by the side of the road where she knows he's going to pass.
So Judah comes along, doesn't recognize his own daughter-in-law, and thinks she's a roadside prostitute. He makes her an offer. But this is the absolute genius of her plan. She doesn't ask for cash up front. Nope. She asks for a pledge, basically collateral, until he can send the payment he promised.
And get this, look at what she asks for. Not just some random object. She demands the three things that are basically the keys to his identity. His signet ring, which is like his official signature for documents, the cord it hung on, and his personal staff, a symbol of his authority. This is like asking for someone's driver's license, credit card, and passport all at once.
And you won't believe it, but Judah just agrees. He hands over the very proof of who he is to this anonymous, veiled woman. The second those items are in her hand, she has everything she needs. It's undeniable, irrefutable evidence. Boom! The trap is set.
So her plan? It works. A little too well, you could say. Because what comes next is terrifying.
Tamar gets pregnant, and when her secret comes out, she faces the death penalty from the one person who has no idea he's involved.
Fast forward about 3 months. It's now obvious that Tamar is pregnant, and, word travels fast. It gets right back to the family patriarch Judah that his widowed daughter-in-law is expecting a child.
And this is where the irony just becomes staggering. On one side, you have Tamar, publicly accused of a crime punishable by death. And on the other side, you have Judah, acting as the outraged judge, demanding she be executed when he is the unknowing father of her child. The hypocrisy is just off the charts.
And Judah doesn't hesitate for a second. No trial, no questions, just pure, hypocritical rage. His honor has been offended, so he commands it, bring her out and let her be burned. This is it. This is the moment of maximum danger for Tamar. Her entire life now hangs on the evidence she secured on that road.
But this is not the story of a victim. This is the story of a survivor. And just as she is being dragged out to be executed, Tamar plays her final, devastating card. She's about to flip the script and turn her own public execution into Judah's public trial.
Now notice how she does this. As they're bringing her out, she doesn't point a finger and yell, "It was you!" No, she's way smarter than that. She just sends a message to Judah, presents the items, and says, "The man who owns these is the father. Please take a look and identify them." It is a brilliant, surgical checkmate.
And there they are, presented for all to see, the smoking gun, his signet, his cord, his staff. In that one moment, Judah sees the undeniable proof of what he did. There is absolutely no way out for him. The trap he walked in 2 months ago has now snapped shut on him in front of everyone.
And in this stunning moment of public humiliation, Judah has no choice. He confesses everything. He doesn't just identify the items. He says out loud, for everyone to hear, "She is more righteous than I am." He gets it. He finally understands that her deception was the direct result of his injustice, of him breaking his promise and the law.
So did her wild gamble pay off? Oh, absolutely. Her life is spared and she gives birth to twin sons. And through one of those sons, Perez, she secures her place in history, becoming an ancestor in the royal line that leads all the way to King David. She didn't just survive, she triumphed.
And that leaves us with this really tough question, doesn't it? Tamar absolutely broke the rules of her society through an act of incredible deception, but she only did it to force the system to uphold a deeper justice that was denied to her. So it makes you wonder, when the rules themselves are unjust, can a deceptive act actually be the most righteous choice you can make?